Melby.
True. I didn't know that in our books that we have my math lab, and I went online and bought the first one that on. Yeah. What are we supposed to do?
That's a good question. Let me talk to you after class about that and see if I can resolve that for you. Philip. Ethan. Derek. Trevor. Graham. All right. The quizzes that we had yesterday, again, these are just sort of diagnostic type quizzes. Give me an idea of sort of what you are remembering and what you aren't necessarily remembering from your previous math courses. The problems were either right or wrong. Not really a whole lot of places that I was looking to give partial credit. I just wanted to see sort of where you were at. No one got all of them right. That's okay. Again, not taking a grade here, just looking to see where everyone is. I encourage you to look through the problems you did get wrong and try to identify why you got them wrong. If you want to come see me, talk about it, that's fine. If you want to go see Jason and talk to him about it, that's fine as well. I definitely think that you need to make sure that you look over what you did wrong and figure out why you got it wrong. I put another, for those of you that have had an opportunity to register on the Math Lab website, there's another sort of quote-unquote practice quiz on there that you can go over that covers a lot of this material, some of it in a little more depth, quite a few more problems. If you want to go over those problems and use that sort of as a guide to see how well you're doing and sort of reviewing that kind of material, I encourage you to do that. I get feedback whenever you take that, so I can identify sort of what you're still having some challenges with, and I can talk to you about how to go ahead and sort of alleviate some of those problems as we move through the semester. I definitely think that if you are having troubles with any of the material on this sheet, you need to take that online quiz, and you need to get the majority of the questions on that correct before the first in-class exam. All right? It's going to be useful for you because it's going to give you a chance to practice the basics that you need to have down pat before we move too much further. And it's just going to help you to study more as you're taking that more and more times, as you're getting more and more practice with this stuff. Okay? All right. That being said, we can go ahead and start in on some new material, or at least some additional review material today, and see how far we get. I've had a couple people ask questions about the My Math Lab stuff. You do need it. You are going to have to access it to take some quizzes and do some work. So you need to get registered for that as soon as possible. The books that you buy, if you bought your book through the bookstore, as some have found out, that has a My Math Lab card with it. If you don't, have the textbook from the store. If you buy it off of Amazon or somewhere else like that, odds are it did not come with a code. You'll need to go to the My Math Lab website, which is coursecompass.com. You can purchase the access right there off of that webpage if you need to. Okay? I don't, off the top of my head, remember what the cost of that is. I'm
75.
75 for the copy. Okay. I'll have to look at that a little bit more, but you can purchase it directly there. Again, if you purchase just the My Compass stuff, it has an ebook within the program itself. It doesn't have a hard physical hold on to your book kind of thing to work with, but there is an ebook on there. All the same stuff. You can scroll through it chapter by chapter using the PDF viewer online. You can get all that stuff as you need to. So, it's all there. I believe. Yes. All right. Any questions then? Not regarding My Math Lab that you'd like to ask before we start? It's okay to ask a question. Nothing? What's that? No, it's not. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm left with you. Anything else? No, I won't share. Sorry. It's not Starbucks either. This is still my natural hair color. No? All right. So let's go ahead and get back to it then. Yesterday we talked a little bit about domains of functions. Again, remember the domain is the set of all valid inputs that we can use in a function. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the other end of our function. We'll talk about what went in, and now we're going to talk a little bit about what comes out. The outputs of our function are referred to as the range. So the range of a function, again, definition-wise, is just the set of all outputs. And unlike the domain, it's not always obvious, or it's not always, there's not a set of rules that we can check to see what the valid outputs are. Okay? Finding the range of a function is not always an easy thing to do. It's as you work with more and more examples of functions, you'll sort of get a feel as to what kind of things could possibly come out of these functions. But there's no hard, fast rule that we have that says, if this is your function, check these things, and this is going to be the output. This is going to be the set of all outputs. There's no algorithm, no formula, no rules that we can check in that way. Now, there are some functions which you should have sort of this intuition as to, well, what could come out of this type of function? Okay? If we look at some examples of some functions, for example, if we look at, start with an easy one, f of x equals x squared. Okay? Let's go through two parts. So first, let's identify the domain of this function. What kind of values are we allowed to plug into x squared? Any real number you want can be put into the x squared function. So our domain here, again, using our interval notation, minus infinity to infinity. Okay. Now, thinking about what this function does, right? I put in a number, and out comes the square of that number. Thinking of that, what kind of values do you think you can get out of this x squared function? What numbers come out of x squared? Close. Almost all the way there. Positive numbers are typically numbers that are greater than 0. 0 also will come out of this function. So we're looking at the non-negatives, which is close to the positive. Notation again. Anything that is greater than or equal to 0 will come out of this function. Okay? Again, notation for that. Square bracket 0, comma infinity. Close brackets. All right. Not too bad on that one. Let's take a look at another one. All right. Here, let's take a look at the function g of x equals the square root of x.